Good morning. So it's been snowing here, but it's not sticking, fortunately. And I've managed to persuade the fire to operate, but the fuel that I've bought doesn't seem to be highly combustible. And the firelighters that I've bought are, they're firelighters. They do light, but they don't get over enthusiastic about it. So things sometimes take a bit longer than I would like. And I've been listening to a gentleman on the internet called Anthony the Witness, and he's a black man and speaking from, I'm not sure exactly where, not Manchester, but maybe that kind of area. I'm sure he's said, but I can't recall. His accent to me sounds a bit like a Liverpool accent, but I'm not very familiar with the northern accents yet. I will be, when I live in Blackpool. I'm sure I'll start to get the hang of it. He's a nice fellow, and the things that he says, I think, are, I agree with him. He's come out of the church, and he just speaks, I suppose, from scripture and the things that he observes. He makes the claim that he's a chosen one, and he claims to speak to chosen ones, and that's how he often addresses his audience, chosen ones. I do feel chosen, actually. So and I think it would be faithless to claim otherwise. So I suppose he's right, really, to use those words. I'm always a bit reluctant, I suppose, in case it would appear that I'm resting an argument on like an unprovable tenet. Whereas I like to argue the Bible or issues on using rational support. Also, I don't know whether, yes, I think primarily, if something is true in the Bible and everything is true, then it can be argued rationally also. That's my understanding. If it can't be, then your understanding is just lacking of what the Bible actually says. That's what I would believe, and that would be the case of things, if we get into the more esoteric parts of the Bible and the beasts of Ezekiel and things like that. Obviously, my ability to approach these things rationally is very limited, and I think everybody's ability is. But I'm talking about precepts more than anything, and commandments and statutes and warnings, these kinds of things, primarily. So I recommend that people go and listen to him. He's an engaging speaker, and he speaks very clearly, and he refers to scripture with regularity. He's got quite a few followers, and I was pleased initially to see that there was no monetization. But when I checked his channel, I saw that he does have a donate button. And I've been meditating on that aspect of things. Because, I suppose primarily I would be thinking of biblical figures and prophets and um, the disciples, uh, they didn't collect any money, I don't think, but they were expected to be hosted, and to be looked after, because the Lord said, "Take with you neither scrip nor purse." I think it says that. So it's perfectly reasonable to have, that somebody might help you in your ministry if you're, why not? If somebody feels moved to do so, I suppose. But the problem with the internet is, and I'm imagining small amounts, I don't know. You would help a brother out, of course, if you were in a position to do so, and you believed that he was doing good work that you couldn't maybe put your hand to temporarily. Well, I think we all can, actually. But the problem with the internet is that you never know how many people and how much money is changing hands, because an arrangement like that, if I were to learn, for example, that he's making, I don't know, 100 or 200 or 300, there's a limit, isn't there? Because it's the internet. But I mean, what if you were doing that and you were making, £1,000 a month or something like that? That starts to be serious coin, doesn't it? And it's probably more than you need. And I'm sure this gentleman would give money to people on the streets. He said as much, and he does. People in need on the streets. That's a difficult one to gauge, of course. We have to be wary, because there are many deceivers on the streets also. And I don't like to support deceivers. So I just have to use my attention. I don't mind giving a deceiver £1, but I won't, obviously, go any further than that. I just give him £1 maybe to shut him up, honestly, those people. So it's just the problem of the internet, that's all, really. That's the problem that I had with Molyneux. How much are you receiving? Surely, I think that could be resolved just by publishing it regularly, keeping a record and just publishing it so people can see, that you're not doing it for personal financial gain to some extent. Where do you stop with that? Is it wrong to do it? I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm pretty sure that, Elijah and Elisha, not that I'm trying to place myself in their position, but they didn't have a shingle out, did they? Of course they didn't. But I'm sure they were also supported at the same time. And there's evidence for that in the Bible of, it was Elisha, wasn't it? Had the room given to him, and the bed, and the table, and a chair or something, a cell in a woman's house. So it's perfectly biblical, I suppose, to do so. But we're living in slightly different times, maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you think, and have a listen to this gentleman. He's worth listening to, I do think. God bless.